Hey everybody, my name's William. Welcome back to Silverstone. Today we're going to be driving the Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT3 around here. A little bit pressed for time, so we're going to do Hotlap mode instead of practice mode. Should be pretty comparable, probably a little bit faster, a couple tenths. So I'm going to see if I can use this as an excuse to have my first car go into the 57s. Um, Hopefully we can make that happen, and I hope you guys don't mind a little bit of change. It's just going back to the way I used to do it, so shouldn't be that big of a difference. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to have the hot lap coming up for you next, and then we'll get into the setup afterwards. So I'll be back with you guys to talk through the setup. Alright everyone, that was a lap around Silverstone in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT3. We managed a 157.786. I did do this in hot lap mode, not practice session. So hot lap mode with the tires and fuel situation the way it is in that mode. So read into that what you want, or the way you will, but a little bit pressed for time, and also pretty excited I got into the 57s, and I actually wanted to post me getting into the 57s rather than risk going into practice mode here and screwing it up. So we started with the aggressive preset, as I almost always do. These first two laps are on the aggressive preset, 59.481 and then 58.752. There's a couple aborted ones in there, as well, as I was trying to figure out exactly the way the balance of the car was with the aggressive preset and what I wanted to change. So notably just a little bit of understeer, but the big problem with the aggressive preset I had was instability on the brakes. The rear end just really likes to break loose under heavy braking, so with the aggressive preset. So I went and tried to address that, aborted a couple laps here, so did take a little bit longer than 5 laps, but the next lap, after making just some minor tweaks here, we got into the 57s, and then just trying a couple different things in between here, getting a couple more aborted laps, but we got this 57.786, and there's at least two tenths still in it, so a mid 57 would be possible with this. And like I said, this is really just minor tweaks on the aggressive preset, so it is a really solid base if you're trying to work on a race setup. It's just a couple little things you gotta kind of work around with the car, or you know, maybe it actually suits your style better having it that way. Maybe this one's a little bit too secure. But anyways, we'll go into it. I just balanced the pressures for trying to get 27.5 um, as the hot pressure kind of balance left to front, or left to right in the front of the car, and then 27 psi for the rear of the car. Slightly increase the rear toe. Just helpful around this track. Could probably increase this even more on a race setup, just because the slow speed corners you can lose so much time by wheel spinning or not being able to just get the power down efficiently by having to wait forever. So a little bit more toe, and increase the rear camber as well to give it a little bit more of that rear end stick through all the high speed corners around here, because it seems like this track is nothing but high speed corners and then slow speed acceleration zones. We did traction control still on 2, ABS on 2, ECU map on 1, that's the fastest, and traction control 2 on 4. Like I said, we're in the Hotlap mode, so that was, I think 10 liters of fuel is what it sets it to. And then we got here. So I did actually change this. I forgot to change it in the setup. I'm not sure if I actually did. My lap was 64 or 62.8% for the brake bias. I preferred 62.8, so if I did it on 64, that's just a mistake. It's a little bit too far forward. 64 is what it comes as from the aggressive preset. Front anti-roll bar feels fine on 3. Increase the stiffness on the front, the wheel rate, just to try and keep the nose a little bit more stable. Let's see. We increased the bump stop ranges on the front, decreased them slightly on the rear, and then the big difference is we decreased the rear anti-roll bar. It started on 5. We're all the way down on 2 now. And then increase the preload a little bit as well on the rear to kind of give it a little bit more security on braking into those heavy braking zones for a couple of the kind of medium speed corners around here. And then because we adjusted the wheel rate, I went ahead and lowered the bump on the front as well as the rebound. And the rear dampers on this car, I don't think I may have increased the rear rebound to try and keep a little bit more weight on the rear, but other than that, I don't think I changed fast rebound, fast bump, or bump. It felt very balanced around here. So yeah, once again, just props for the aggressive preset. It's I normally don't change so little anyways. And then we just increased the rear wing on the car. Didn't mess with ride heights or anything like that. Not really bottoming out or having any issues with the curbs with the front of the car. And the rear of the car, I knew I wanted to add more wing because I think it started on 6, and just from everything I've done at Silverstone, it seems like you just want to add more wing. So you might want to add more. I'm not saying 8 is actually the value you want, but I don't think you get anything from having it on 6. That's just that's my experience anyways. The more wing, the better around here. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to run max wing, but this was a good balance. The ride height in this range, you can probably increase the ride height a little bit more. I wouldn't really decrease it any. This is pretty snug feeling, so if anything, you might want to increase the rear ride height a little bit more. Alternatively, if it is a little too snug for you, you can always drop the rear wing a click or two. Like I said, I think it's better with more, but that will change the aero balance and potentially help you out if that's kind of problem you're having. So like I said, sorry, this one's a little bit rushed, but I do think that this balance of the car is not rushed. It's a very good balance. Drove really well for me. I hope that you guys find it kind of the same. If you don't, let me know in the comments below. If you do enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you guys make any kind of changes to help it suit you better or something like that, feel free to post them in the comments below. It might help me understand something better. It might help another driver that's wanting to get the best out of this thing as well, that has a similar style to you and not to me, that kind of thing. So let's try and get everybody faster. That's really the goal here. And I think that's what this is absolutely great for. So I hope you guys enjoy. thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.